Well, the media, of course, had an interest in South Korea, but also other fellow delegates from different countries were all interested in K-drama, K-pop, K-pop demon hunters,
Wow.
skincare.
Hello, Korea's viewers. I'm Peter Bint. Many of you are probably familiar with the G20 summit, but have you heard of the Y20? Y20 is the abbreviation for the G20 Youth Summit. As the name suggests, the G20 Youth Summit brings together youth from G20 countries to share their views on global issues. The inaugural summit was held in 2009. This year, South Africa hosted the Y20 summit. Today, I'm delighted to welcome 3 young delegates who represented Korea at this globally recognized youth summit. It's an honor to meet you guys. Would you mind giving your personal introductions?
Hello everyone, my name is Hong Bin. I'm currently a master's student at Seoul National University majoring in international studies, and I was one of the South Korean delegates to the Y20 this year on track 1, climate change and environmental sustainability.
Lovely to meet you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Noah Lee. I served as Track 2 delegate for Inclusive Economic Growth and Employment at the Y20 South Africa this year. Currently, I'm finishing up my studies in political science and international studies at Yonsei University, and I look forward to pursuing a career in international development or human rights.
That's lovely to have you here too.
Hello everyone, my name is Yunsa and I'm also finishing up my bachelor's degree in Hanyang University, majoring in international studies, and I was the track 5 delegate for the Y20 2025 this year.
Great to have you all here. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your experiences directly with us. So I think most people are familiar with the G20, the Y20 maybe a little less so. So what motivated you to apply to be in the Y20?
For me personally, as a student who studies international studies, the concept of G20 or Y20 was a bit familiar to me. But the reason why I felt inclined to apply this year is because it's the first Y20 and G20 to be held in South Africa. And I thought that was very significant from the lens of development because I'm very interested in development.
Pretty much the same for me as well. I've had a couple friends in the past who attended Y20 Indonesia and Y20 India. They highly recommended that I apply this year. Also, I have always been interested in multilateralism, and I used to study in the UK, but the reason I came back to Korea is to pursue a career in diplomacy. That is why I applied this year.
How about yourself?
For me, it's mostly similar, but I was also interested in international development. So having the chance of visiting the African continent was a really big opportunity for me. So I couldn't miss this opportunity, so I applied for this.
Great. So it seems like Y20 really brought together people from diverse backgrounds and a wide range of interests into one place. Then as the Sherpa, Noah, could you tell us exactly how the Y20 summit works and also about your role as Sherpa?
So for this year, under the South African presidency, the core theme was youth building bridges, uniting for solidarity, championing for equality, and driving sustainability. So all of the 5 thematic tracks operated under these themes. As the role of Sherpa, served as the chief negotiator for facilitating consensus. Secondly, I served as the liaison between our delegation and MOFA. Thirdly, I tried to keep everyone on schedule and tried to coordinate the logistics and procedural elements of the entire process. And finally, post-summit, I had to do some advocacy and follow through of our work.
Oh wow, so it is a big role. You have lots of extra duties, but you're happy to take on that responsibility?
I was very honored to be able to lead our delegates. It was a wonderful experience, and yeah, we're family now, so yeah, it was a great experience.
So for Korea's subscribers, you guys took some photos and videos to show the vibrant scene. So we're going to take a look at those together, right? And you can tell me what this is. Okay. Ah, so this looks like the airport before you've even left.
That is the Incheon airport.
How did you feel? Were you nervous?
We actually, when we arrived, we forgot to bring the flag lapel pins and bring a national flag. So we had to buy that at the Incheon airport.
They would definitely sell that
Yeah.
as tourist like souvenirs. Wow, okay.
Yeah. That is actually our track 3 delegate Song Yena, who wasn't able to join us today. She served as the delegate for AI and innovation and future of work. She advocated really strongly for the ethical use of AI, not banning, but regulating generative AI in public education.
That's very meaningful right now. What is she doing? Is she on TV, or is this for a video that you guys are filming for your own content?
So there were a lot of like African broadcast teams at the venue. We were just walking by and they stopped us to have a short interview about South Korean perspective and the voices of the youth in South Korea. So that's Yena doing her interview with the South African broadcasters.
I heard lots of other delegations, and obviously the media were interested in Korea. It was a bit special, the attention to Korea.
Well, the media, of course, had an interest in South Korea, but also other fellow delegates from different countries were all interested in K-drama, K-pop, K-pop Demon Hunters,
Wow.
skincare.
Actually, I brought like a few face masks for myself. Since they were so interested in like K skincare, I decided to like give them out to some of the delegates in my
Wow.
track, which they really loved.
I'm assuming, like you said, when the atmosphere is great, it's all laughs and smiles. But when there are disagreements or tense negotiations, what happens then?
For our track 5 was especially focused in inclusive social development and fighting inequality. So obviously we had many policy suggestions regarding gender equality. And when it came to the definition of gender, there were different cultural approaches in how we define gender. So these cultural differences could not be negotiated or come up to a consensus. So when this kind of thing happened, we decided to move this discussion to the Sherpa level, which the heads of delegates were in charge of discussing the different cultural perspectives on certain sensitive matters. So that's how we dealt with some sensitive matters in the track.
The definition of gender came up during the Sherpa's negotiating table. We had to find middle ground within the negotiations. I served as the mediator between the two different opinions and coming up with like a solution that would make everyone happy. So at the end, we all agreed that the word gender would be included with a footnote stating that it would be the UN 1997 ECOSOC definition of gender.
So I'm sure that was really meaningful for you to do that. What about you, Songbin?
I think disagreements are inevitable in a sense that you have 20 different countries representing 20 different red lines, green lines, and you're trying to get them done in a few days. We really try to use our free time to make a consensus. Like one thing that comes to my head right now is that there was a proposal encouraging countries to adapt like food and nutrition indicators in their national adaptation plans. And for some delegates, they felt it was an infringement on their national sovereignty. But because we as youth all felt the necessity of putting the issue onto the communique, used our free time to talk it out, and then eventually we were able to sort out the language and submit it before it reached the Sherpas. I felt very happy. I felt so proud because it was a hard process because it started with the word integrate, which felt a bit compulsory. So after a large round of discussions, we ended on something like encourage the advancement on integration of, which is very grand, but I was happy that we managed to agree on something and have it there.
Wow, so some real key roles it seems that the Korean delegation has played. I think there's another photo for us to look at of you guys in traditional attire with all the delegates. Did everyone know to bring their own traditional attire? Was that part of the remit, or it was just something people did spontaneously?
Well, it was on the program book. However, none of us actually brought the hanbok because I had a contact point at the MOFA, the embassy in South Africa. We requested to borrow a couple hanboks, traditional hanboks, and they were so helpful in coordinating that.
Was this like a certain event, or was it just for some free time in your traditional attire?
That was for a night event called Culture Night that the South African provided. We were wearing hanboks to the event thanks to the South Korean embassy in South Africa. So yeah, it was a really good experience because everybody else was wearing their cultural costumes, and if we did not have the help from the South Korean embassy, we would not have been fully engaged in the Culture Night experience.
That's real practical diplomacy, right? The real nuts and bolts behind these.
One thing I remember from the Culture Night was there was music playing, and suddenly African delegates and staffs would start dancing to the music with their own like dance move that they created at the spot. So everybody else from like different countries would start to follow their dance moves, and everybody would just start dancing to the same music. So it was a really fun experience.
I thought Koreans were famous for their hung and spontaneity, but can't compete with that energy. Final question then. So, do you have any final words for our Korea's subscribers?
I want to say that this channel itself was immensely helpful in preparing myself. When you're preparing for these events, you don't know where to begin or what to watch. I think in those matters, when I watched Korea's, I could see which international issues were pressing or how I should be approaching these issues. So I want to express my appreciation for this channel, and also if you want to prepare yourself for similar experiences, I highly advise you to subscribe to Korea's and follow up on their updates and everything. Yeah.
Fantastic message.
As a country once was a developing country, now into a developed country, there was definitely some new perspective that we could provide to the G20 nation countries in the summit. So that was a new experience for me in terms of multilateralism and diplomacy. I hope people who are interested in the field of diplomacy, you should definitely look into this program and apply for it.
Fantastic. Good luck with everyone applying as well.
Lastly, on behalf of the entire Y20 2025 South Korean delegation, I would like to offer my special thanks to the South Korean MOFA and specifically 타자 경제기국과의 백미란 사무관님. They were immensely helpful in facilitating the logistics and procedural elements of the entire process of Y20. So yeah.
So hearing about all your valuable experiences, it's truly been fascinating for me, and I'm sure for our subscribers and viewers as well. And I'm sure they, as well as I, couldn't be prouder for all the outstanding work you've done. So good luck in your future endeavours, and thank you once again for joining us here today. And I'll see you all again next time. Thank you.
Thank you.